Welcome back, everyone, to another postseason edition of the Major League Baseball season. My name is Justin. I thank you for joining us here on the J&J Talk Show. And we're excited. One last week before the Major League Baseball season progresses here. So we're excited to be bringing you content. Apologize for the setup here. And we're back at it live once more. I hope everyone's having a great week so far. Baseball is winding to the end as we hit the final season or the final week of the regular season here in the Major League Baseball world. With that being said, we have a lot of things to go over here within the final weeks. What are the playoff pictures looking like? When we come back and review baseball again a week from today, okay, we will have the playoff picture actually set. The AL wild card is set to take on. So next Tuesday, October the 5th, is when we're set to come back to review baseball once more. So when we do that, we will have the playoff picture actually here running for you guys in the world of sports. Trying to get my final notes here as we. There we go. How's everyone doing here today? I had a fun night last night. I had Monday Night Raw. That was live in Cincinnati, Ohio. Great time. Amazing time. This is Tuesday, September 28, 2021. We thank you for tuning in here. Let's get underway under the discussion of Major League Baseball. Yes, that's correct. Like I said, final week of Major League Baseball is here. Still a lot of games to be played. Over the next 5 days. But those games, hopefully by this weekend we have the idea. And it's raveling up here very quickly. So let's take a look over the American League East. Who's holding those positions? There we go. We got the Tampa Bay Rays, who has officially clinched the American League East. Tampa Bay Rays. They also, I believe, hold their best record in the American League, so they'll have home field advantage. It's going to be an exciting time here. Chicago White Sox over in the Central. Definitely an impressive team, followed by the Cleveland Indians. Houston Astros looking to clinch yet again in the West. They still have to overcome the Seattle Mariners and the Oakland Athletics. Well, Oakland, okay, let me rephrase that because Oakland's out. The 2 games, Seattle is 4.5 games out of the West. They're 2 games away from elimination. So coming up maybe by the weekend, depending how Houston plays, you can see, or how Seattle plays also, you can see yourself in another division clinching. It looks like the Astros are going to make it anyways. So American League, we got the Tampa Bay Rays owning the East. The Central belongs to the White Sox. And the Houston Astros are looking to take advantage of the West. Give or take a few games coming up here. Let's take a look in the American League wild card, because that's still a booming. It's still yet again a really impactful. It's coming down to this last couple games. Very impactful. A lot of games created here. New York Yankees currently hold a game lead over the Boston Red Sox for those 2 teams leading the wild card spot. Toronto Blue Jays with the game behind. Seattle Mariners a game and a half. Oakland Athletics with 3.5 games. So still a lot left to be played. I know New York is over in Toronto. Boston's over in Baltimore, so that faith could be held. Seattle and Oakland's facing each other this week. So a lot of things going on around here as we look into those key games in the American League. I'm excited. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely excited. I mean, typically you would have all 5 teams play, and not only play, but be determined by the last week. The fact that we have 3 spots still available that has not been clinched. Even the Houston Astros has not clinched a playoff spot. The only playoff spots clinched in the American League are those Rays and are those White Sox, which I love to see the new faces. So it's going to be exciting to see the White Sox back in the playoffs. Exciting to see the Tampa Bay Rays back in the playoffs, considering that they lost to the Dodgers last year. But then, like you said, to see, I'll reiterate this here once more, to see teams like the Yankees back in, contending a game in, trying to fight for a wild card spot. I told you, I told you a couple back on week 1 that the Yankees are going to be the underdogs in this one. And I still hold that true because as the Yankees throughout the season, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Yankees have been battling since day one with injuries and COVID and everything you could throw at them. They've been handling with. They've been up and down, inconsistent, yet again consistent, and they find themselves in the last week running. So I'm rooting for some reason, and I'm not necessarily always rooting for the Yankees to win here, but the type of season the Yankees had so far this year, I'm rooting for them. You got the Red Sox fighting, Toronto Blue Jays, Seattle Mariners still has an opportunity. I like that. Seattle Mariners, 1.5 out. I'm very impressed to see how the Mariners progressed this year. They weren't necessarily a team over the last couple years. They've been in and out, couldn't complete a season. Now they're looking above 500, second place in the West. And now they're facing against the Athletics this week, which is a huge series for them to stay alive. Because, if Oakland comes in and takes care of business against Seattle, that could be the end of the season for both of them. So, really impactful game. So, if you're looking for as of today, the Yankees and the Blue Jays finish off this series. Red Sox and Baltimore, Oakland and Seattle. Maybe by Friday, we will have all 5 teams, all 10 teams on both divisions, for the Major League Baseball to be determined. If that's the case, the weekend sports, I'll let you know. I'm hoping. Kind of let me sit back over the weekend and relax, and then go from there. Let's transition over to the National League side here. National League East. The Braves, but watch out for the Phillies. They're still in it. They're so very well in that conversation. 2.5 games back out. Look at the Phillies rest of the week. They're over in Atlanta this week. This is a huge matchup with the Phillies because then they go to Miami. And then Atlanta's home to the Braves. The Brewers is the only team that has clinched their division in the National League, with the Milwaukee Brewers clinching the Central. The San Francisco Giants was the first team this season to clinch a playoff spot. But that playoff spot, though, you saw the Dodgers right behind them. Therefore, with 102 games, the Giants have the best record in baseball with 102 games. The Dodgers have 100, so 2 teams. I guess my next question is does the Tampa Bay Rays have enough to get above 100 wins. Do we see 3 teams? Unlikely. But I would be impressed to see 3 teams in the Major League Baseball. Excuse me, to have over 100 wins or 100 plus wins. So National League East is the Braves, Central, Milwaukee Brewers, West, San Francisco Giants, but the Dodgers are holding tightly. Let's look at that wild card here because it's not as many more, enthusiastic here. The Dodgers have clinched that first wild card seat. They will have the home game. It depends whoever wins. The loser of the West here will have the home game in the wild card game. So is that the Dodgers or is that going to be the Giants? Let me know. The second wild card spot currently holds with the St. Louis Cardinals. But here's the interesting thing. I know it's still worthy enough to mention the Reds looking to, the Reds and the Phillies game out. Okay, Phillies probably have a better chance at the division than they do at the wild card, because at the Cardinals, they got to win one game. That's all they got to do. One game from elimination. That's that. If you're looking at the screen here on YouTube or Facebook, the screen shows one game elimination. So if the Cardinals win today, okay, if the Cardinals pick up a victory today, and they're facing Milwaukee, then they will clinch the second wild card team. I say this, listen, the Cardinals have had such a significant run here. Okay, I'm going to give credit. 16-game winning streak. Even if they afford to lose a game or two, that's fine. I'm not worried about that. It looks like the Cardinals are beating the second wild card team here. If the Cardinals do, I still consider them the underdog going into October baseball, because you still got the Dodgers, who are playing spectacular. So with the Giants. Whoever loses that game, like I said, I've been preaching this over and over again. I will say it once more. Whoever holds the second wild card spot, looks like the Cardinals, but we will confirm that hopefully later on this week. If the Cardinals get the second wild card, whoever has the second wild card spot has to take on either the Dodgers or the Giants in the wild card game on the road. Then they got to go, if they could overcome that one game elimination, then they got to go to the other West Coast team, whether it's the Dodgers or Giants. And they got to start that series on the road. Boy, I tell you, so American League is going, my underdog team is going to be the Yankees. I don't necessarily think I'm going to root for them in the wild card in the playoffs. I don't know yet. But the type of season the Yankees have had, I'm going for the Yankees. The underdog team right now in the Central is the Cardinals, and that's because what they're going to have to face upcoming. I don't know if I'm going to, like I said, if I want to continue to root for them in the wild card, but they got my vote. They got my attention. So NL games to look out for as of today. Like I said, playing today, the Padres over in the Dodgers. The reason why that game is important, because the D-backs over in San Francisco, and you're trying to determine the next AL spot in the division. If the Giants could clinch the AL West or the NL West, then the Dodgers will have the wild card spot for sure. Other games, though, that's still worthy enough to mention, like you said, Milwaukee over in St. Louis. If the Cardinals could win, then they clinch. All they got to do is win one game over the next 5 days, and they clinch the wild card. The Philadelphia Phillies over in Atlanta. Like I said, Philadelphia has a better opportunity at the East, composing towards the wild card game. Because you got to remember, if Philadelphia loses one game, here's a contrary note. Not only the St. Louis Cardinals need to win one game to make it in, but let's say the Cardinals lose somehow 5 games in a row between Milwaukee and Chicago, then it's going to be, I mean, if the Reds or the Phillies lose one game, or one game, just lose, then they're out of it. Doesn't matter. A lot of stuff going on here. So this MLB is finally winding down. Baseball here is finally coming to an end. I'm a little emotional, to be honest. I have to be honest with you. It's one of those things when you talk about baseball. Yeah, I get into it, spring training. It's like, yeah, because, okay, so I'm not necessarily a huge basketball fan. I mean, I'll get into it March Madness. But March for me is postseason. You have all of February after the Super Bowl that's really no content. Like I said, we'll have to figure out things to cover in. But then March comes and preseason hits for baseball, and I'm like, I'm right back in the game. Comes into April, May, maybe a little bit of June, I'm into baseball. About 4th of July time comes, I kind of do my summertime, events, whatever the case may be. And then September revisits, and now it's key. So 162 games comes up in September. Now it's time to really look at the playoff picture. Now we time to look at October baseball. And what's different than maybe football, I understand the whole situation and everything going on with, football being more interested. I get that. I'm on board with that. But here's my thing. I have, like I said, I grew up baseball fan, and it's just something about October baseball that I love. And you also got to remember, this is the first time they're hoping to have fans in seats, as COVID spikes go around town. They're hoping to have a full impact, being able to play across the nation. I think that they can excel that. But I guess time will tell. I like to take this time to thank some of our promoters here, not promoters, but some of our equipment that we've been able to use, because without them, these talk shows, the J&J talk show, will not exist. So at this moment, I like to thank StreamYard, who is the studio that we go through live. Okay, all my applications, everything you're seeing on our screen, the audio recording, everything is through StreamYard. The video clips, we are not able to air unless we have StreamYard. So a fundamental. I'm not saying I'm going to stick with StreamYard. I think it's a very well product. If you're looking out, I think as you get advanced, you can look at other applications that provide a nice studio with easier content. But this is, if you're looking to start out on YouTubing, a podcast, whatever the case may be, recording yourself, audio, whatever it is, you could go. StreamYard is the place to go. Go to StreamYard.com for more information. I like StreamYard. Like I said, it's a nice studio. You can put up these pamphlets. I got the intro, videos. I got the music in the background. Talking about the music in the background, it's by print. Is the music that you're listening to behind the scenes here, me talking, is thanks to the Epidemic Sound. Go to epidemicsound.com to try your free trial. Get licensing music from Epidemic Sound, where they provide music for you that you can play on your videos, whether you're a video vlog, talk show, whatever the case may be. And then I also like to thank Place It here up there in the top left-hand corner, somewhere up there where my plane. Anyways, Place It is our logo. Our new intro, the intro and outro videos that you guys see coming into it. So I want to thank them. like I said, I just want to thank the people who or the applications that's provided for us at a very cheap to no cost rate to give us the access and the ability to make these talk shows. So thank you to them. So it's been a busy week so far here in the world of sports. Like I said, me and my partner went out to Raw last night. Great time. And we had a great time out there. Baseball, like I said, final weeks, 5 days left before the regular season ends. When we come back next Tuesday, so the same time when we have our every Tuesday episode of baseball, when we come back, we will have ourselves the playoff picture confirmed. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to talk about it later on this week in one of my shows, but we're going to have ourselves the playoff picture confirmed. As a matter of fact, a week from today, the American League wild card game. Is that going to be New York and Boston? And where is it going to be at? And then a week from tomorrow, which is Wednesday, we're going to have the NL wild card game. So a lot of things are going to conclude this week in the world of baseball. I'd like to go ahead and just invite you over to our show coming up this Thursday, September 30th, 2021, for the NFL Week 4 review. Week 4, where we cover everything that happened in Week 3. We'll get you everything you need to know for Week 4 football. I got the question. We're going to head into Week 4 football. I want to ask you a simple question here. As I learn more about this, but a play happened that led into a history-making game-winning field goal earlier this week. The Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions played off on Sunday Football, and the Lions were winning, and the Ravens had the ball. The clock went down to 0. Okay, the play clock went down to 0. And probably maybe about a second later, maybe 2 seconds later, the ball was snapped. And there was no false start or delay game penalty called for the Ravens. This allowed them to kick a 66. This has allowed the Baltimore Ravens kicker, Justin Tucker, to kick 66-yard NFL history game-winning field goal. So while we take the moment as we get ready for the NFL Week 4 review, what is your thoughts on that? Is that something that is worth being reviewed? Are we looking at things differently? Are they wrong? Was that a bogus call or not called? Check that out. You could check us out. Don't forget to be able to check us out on YouTube at the JJ Talk Show. On YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe to it. Also on Facebook, follow us on Facebook. All of our episodes get posted up here on Facebook, as well as Spotify now. You can listen to all of our audio content from the J&J Talk Show right up on Spotify at the JJ Talk Show. So with that being said, a lot of things going on in baseball, a lot of things yet to be played. 5 games left. When we come back next week for baseball, it will be AL wildcard playoff picture looking at. I'm excited. I am excited. So my name is Justin from the J&J Talk Show. We thank you until Thursday for the NFL review. You guys have yourself a wonderful day.